Hello and welcome. I'm Kerry Waring and this is Kerry TV, which is where you'll find lots of tips, tools and techniques about creating life with love, purpose and mediumship. And today's video is one for all the newbie mediums out there who are new to developing their abilities. You know, one of the most common questions that I've ever come across from new mediums, and it certainly has come through on my YouTube channel from Eve recently, is the question centers around the fact that a lot of people have natural ability and they can spontaneously connect and communicate with spirit when spirit just approach them naturally in their life. But when they need to shift that and change it to it happening at will, when the medium wants it to happen, whether it's because you want to sit down and receive information, whether you're starting to give readings to others, people really then find that it doesn't happen as well. And in fact, they actually feel like they're not making a connection at all. So that's the question. You know, how do I make it happen at will? And firstly, I would say that there is no technical reason that this happens. There's no technical reason behind mediumship that says it shouldn't happen at will when you're ready for that. And if you are having natural situations and communications with spirit, there is absolutely technically no reason why you cannot sit down at will and invite spirit in, invoke them in and receive information. I really find that I believe it's a mindset challenge on the medium's part. You know, almost like not believing enough in yourself and not believing that it can happen in those instances. So that's really where it comes from. It's just a mindset challenge, and believing that you can do this, knowing that you can sit down. And I would just sort of say to you, spirit will respond as long as the need is there. So if you have a recipient that you're receiving information for, if you have your own personal lead, as long as the need is there, which is the draw card in the energies from spirit, you'll find that spirit will respond. And I think often too, for people that are new to mediumship, when we get to this point, it is often also in how we expect to receive the information and what we're used to. And I guess that's point two. You know, so point one being that it's just shift your mindset and move into a mindset of the fact that you can allow this to happen. And step two, which is really, there's not much more to it than these two, is really to know that as receiving information spontaneously one way is what you're used to, but when you actually move into receiving information at will, you may find that the way that you receive and communicate shifts and changes a little. So there may be subtle differences in the way that you receive information. The connection to spirit may not be as in your face, you know, because if you're going about your day, think about this, right? If you're going about your day and spirit need to get your attention to communicate spontaneously, then their presence is going to be felt in a big way, because they've got to cut through the barrier. You know, they've got to cut through the barrier of all the distractions of this world and the busyness of your mind. So they're knocking on your door is going to be hugely pronounced. You know, it's going to be like, oh, you know, they're here and they're going to have your attention. Whereas when you're sitting down at will, when you are sitting down, invoking them in and asking them to come forward, then I would say that the communication process and you feeling them is probably a lot more subtle. It's not going to be as a way that's going to grab your attention so much. It's going to be a lot more subtle. It's going to be needing you to look for it. So you perhaps they are there, but you're just not fully aware or fully conscious of them being there. So what I would say is try not to look and wait and hold for the appearance of an energy in the way that you know, but simply start asking questions. Simply start asking to receive information and work to identifying after. And as you receive that information, just like having a conversation, I'm sure that spirit will step in. You'll find that your connection will expand and grow from that point. So just in summary, what we've been talking about is, why can I spontaneously connect, but when I sit down to connect with spirit at will, I find that I can't receive information, or I can't make a connection to spirit. So that's the question. And the 2 points to note are, firstly, it's a mindset challenge. There's no technical reason for it not to happen. It really is just move into the mindset of believing in yourself and allowing the communication to process. And the second point would be that it is far more subtle a process doing it at will than if spirit was to be tapping on your door, knocking over your head, trying to make themselves known. Okay, so look for that, and you'll be well on your way to being able to call on spirit when the need is there. So for that, God bless, and thank you for listening.